welcome to Daniel West's deck technicality explanation format.
Extravaganza.
If you like one person being your commander, I bet you'll love three.
That's true.
Yes.
Well, let's take a look at what Dave is talking about. Ta-da! That is the Triplets of Sen.
That doesn't really sound good for them.
No, Sen Triplets it'll have to be.
Okay.
She's a wacky one.
She's whacking. What set is she from?
She is from the Alara Reborn Magic the Gathering expansion.
A multicolored artifact legendary creature.
Sounds Esper.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. A lot of people like the Shroom. I wanted to play with this card. When this card was spoiled back in the day, people were really, really excited about it because it does wacky things, but it didn't really pan out. But now that Commander's a big thing, it panned out.
Like, honestly, Bloodbraid and the Lightning Terminate didn't really give it time to shine.
You'll notice if you watch this series, we like to make jokes that simplify cards. Where we're like, well, bad jokes. We're like, oh, it's basically this.
Yes.
Oh, it's basically this. Sen Triplets may be the card that gets the most of these. Oh, it's basically Mindslaver.
Basically, worse fears.
It's basically, it's basically Teferi. It's
Fury.
basically, it's like you can say 15 cards, and you'd be kind of right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay.
so that's my pretty foil Sen Triplets.
That is pimp.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Up here, we have a very consolidated deck tech up here at the top row.
Like, all these have the same converted mana cost.
They have a converted mana cost of 1. Now, I want to talk very specifically about a card. Soul Ring.
Soul Ring.
If you're losing games of Commander and you don't have Soul Ring, we may have solved your problem.
We may have found the missing link.
Now, we're not just being smart, Alex. This actually belongs in this deck tech.
It does.
It does. Because of the two bookended cards, the Artificer's Intuition, my good friend Travis Gibson, very fond of.
T-Gib.
Yeah, and the Trinket Mage.
Trinket Mage.
These guys tutor up cards that, artifacts, if you will, that have converted mana cost 1.
Yep, we see Trinket Mage in a lot of Commander decks. Usually they get Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, Expedition Map, and maybe Sensei Divining Top or Pithing Needle.
Yep.
So he gets a variety of these guys, but what does Artificer's Intuition do? I don't think I've seen that one a lot.
It's basically it's survival of the Trinket Mage.
Survival of the Trinkets.
Pitch an artifact, go get a trinket.
But it has to cost 1.
It does.
That isn't very many good artifacts. They all cost 1.
Well, that's why I threw a bunch of these guys in.
Oh,
yes.
Lovely.
Brittle Effigy for removal. Expedition Map for rampishness. Card draw, hopefully. Soul Ring. Soul Ring. And then top,
Filtering.
I'm bringing back Temporal Mastery.
Slowing down the game, making it miserable. I love it.
Yes. And Pithing Needle, of course.
Pithing Needle?
Pithing Needle, excuse me.
Yeah.
Shout out to illiteracy. Pithing Needle.
Yes.
English major. Boom.
Cool. That's gotten you real far in life.
Yeah, here we are. Pithing Needle, which is flexible, can turn off some people's commanders.
No.
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's my trinket package.
I like your package.
That's very kind of you.
You're welcome.
The less synergistic packages are at the bottom. We have here some Wrath effects, and I wanted to use some Wrath effects that were uncommon. We see a lot of
actually rares.
Cut the tape. I'm gonna hit him.
Don't.
No. Merciful Eviction. Merciless, excuse me.
Merciless?
Yeah. There are very few merciful evictions.
Really?
Merciless Eviction is one of the most flexible wraths. It's like Austere Wrath.
Austere Wrath.
You can do, it has the choose one, so it's like a command, but it gets rid of basically everything you want to. And you, my friend, with your Disciple of Boluses and the like in this series.
I love my Graveyard Recursion.
Exile.
Exile?
No crap.
No crap?
Get it out.
I love my crap.
Phyrexian Rebirth. Makes kills everything, but leaves you with a big monster. Or a small monster if I didn't kill very many things.
It gives you a colorless artifact horror token.
Grrr.
That's horrible.
Horrible.
Yes.
This little fella...
Shimmermere.
Shimmermere. If I may recount one time, I really wanted to play Shimmermere in Standard when it was legal.
Sure.
Me and my lesser friends, talent-wise, would get around and be like, oh, you can flash in Solemn. Oh, you can flash... There was so many...
I did say that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, Swords. You could flash in Swords at the time.
You could flash in Batterskull.
That
was a good one.
And I went up to Gerald Thompson.
You
may remember Gerald Thompson.
I recall him. He's won every tournament ever, and now he works at Wizards.
He's a very nice guy. I asked him, I was like, how about this? You can flash in Wormcoil Engine. And then he shattered my dreams.
What'd he say?
Why don't you just play Wormcoil Engine? That's why he's better at Magic than we are. Because we want to be cute, he wants to be smart.
I already am cute.
That's why, I'm going to move on. I'm at a Merciless Eviction.
I was at a move to action.
Conjurer's Closet is an artifact, and it's sort of Venture the Sojourner, sort of Resto Angel. It lets you blink things.
It's the blinker that keeps on blinking.
It's true, and it comes on back. And then since is Tinker legal?
It is not.
Sadly, we must use
really
Tinker's fat older brother called Forge Master.
Well, it's 5 mana.
Yeah, and you have to get rid of a bunch of
But
artifacts.
you can keep tinkering.
Yeah,
If you
but
want to.
But anyway, it's a good
Anyway.
card in this deck because of all the artifacts.
Sure.
And it gets rid of my crappy cheap artifacts if I don't need them
Why
and
don't you
turns them
just-
into a large monster.
How about I quote Gerald Thompson and say, don't play with crappy artifacts.
Well, then I can't play with Artificer's Intuition.
And then you might win some more if you don't do that.
That's rude.
I know.
March of the Machines. I am very fond. See, the Color Pie used to be a little different.
Did it?
There was this set called Antiquities, which featured a card called Titania's Song.
Ah.
It made all your non-creature artifact creatures, and their cost was equal to their power tokens, or vice versa, or whatever. So this is the color fixed one, and I have to play that because I'm not playing green. But for what it's worth, I really do enjoy the Titania's Song.
Sure. Yeah, it's March of the Machines is kind of like the Bludgeon Brawl, but blue and
Yeah.
the real version.
Green doesn't like artifacts as much as
It really doesn't.
Once upon a time.
No.
And then finally, we can talk about.
This card.
I'm not playing with Soren. Full disclosure,
Sure.
Soren Markov. But because this deck, I wanted to play with some cards for this
aren't
little
good.
thing. Yeah. So how do you balance that out? Well, if you're going to play a card that's mean-spirited, if you're going to play a card that's just plain rude in Commander,
Rude.
if you're going to play cards like Insanguinate, if you're going to play cards like that, you need to play with some bad cards to balance it.
Sure.
Well, this is the good to this bad, quote unquote. I still
Sure.
think they're all very good. But for what it's worth,
It is worth
this is
not a lot.
probably the meanest spirited card in my deck.
Yeah, that's card.
But it's a Commander card, and we
is.
haven't gotten it on camera yet.
It
so,
fits on theme. It's an Esper artifact.
So,
And you have been losing a lot.
yeah,
So
that's it.
I allow
That's it.
What?
Start. Do your deck tech.
Oh.
Now I'm motivated. I'm going to beat you. Let's go.
Oh.